Welcome everyone to Season 2 featured interview brought to you by Vismaya, a space where we sit down with people shaping the world of technology and bring a part of their journey back to you. I'm your host, Angel Mary Sony, a second year BCA student here at Christ Deemed to be University. Joining us today is Mr. Harinath Parameshwaran, a senior enterprise architect, technology strategist, and digital transformation consultant with over 25 years of experience leading architecture design, platform modernization, and MarTech solutions for large-scale mission-critical systems. Mr. Harinath currently serves as a vice president at Genpact, following senior roles as director at Deloitte, chief architect at TCS, and application architect at IBM Global Services. Today, he is a trusted advisor to C-level stakeholders on customer data platforms, identity resolution, real-time personalization, and secure tokenization strategies, with recent work spanning across hospitality, insurance, smart cities, and retail. Mr. Harinath, thank you for being here with us today.
My pleasure.
To begin with, I'd like to start by asking about your journey. Could you please tell us a little bit about your background and what has brought you to this point in your career?
Interesting. It's been 2.5 decades in the industry. I also started like you as a fresher coming out of college, programming things. I did COBOL programming initially for a couple of years, worked for FedEx US, and then the industry took a lot of change. Things started changing, internet came in, learned Java, mobile computing came in, and then big data, Gen AI. So I tried to keep myself as a student all the time. That helps you to understand, learn things as you progress. So what has helped me is continuous learning, I would say. Nothing beyond that. Make time to read every day. Keep talking to people about technology evolution. Keep track of it. Look at the trends. And if you have the mindset of learning, then that's what has got me over here. I'm also hands-on most of the time. I try my POCs, prototypes, and keep learning and understand real-world problems. So that helps you to shape solutions for your customers.
Okay, sir. That's a very good starting point, sir. Moving on to the next question. The tech job market looks very different today from where you first started out. So what advice would you give to students who are trying to break in right now?
Again, fundamentals. Technology will change, it will change very rapidly. Fundamentals, foundations are very important. So I'm sure you're learning DSA, yes. You're learning operating system concepts. This will remain for long, forever, right? The algorithms what you're using today in agentic AI or Gen AI, it's all mathematics. So it means that your foundations have to be very strong. Never slip that, focus on that. You can just apply for modern technology from foundations. So it's very important for students to stick on to what they do. Don't look at programming as a programming, look at programming as a foundation. The syntax will change, your language will change, but foundations remain same. So in my opinion, a lot of importance for your foundations, what you learn in college, and keep refreshing that.
That's a very valuable piece of advice, sir. And with so many new tools, frameworks, and trends emerging almost every week, how do you personally decide what's actually worth learning versus what's just noise?
Yes, it's very easy to get carried away with the noise, but one has to certainly abstract out what is happening, right? If you abstract away things, the noise will be gone, right? So they'll be having many tools solving same problem a different way. So start looking under the hood, looking at the problem what it is solving, then it's another tool solving the problem, right? So you should not chase tools, you should change the problem it is solving. That makes it easier to understand the concepts, what problem it's trying to solve, how it is trying to solve. Okay, that helps you to take away the noise and focus on what's required to be focused on, what's required worth learning. And also you should not go chasing a tool perpetually, right? You should know when to stop as well, because anything you chase for long term, it becomes difficult to catch up with that, right? So every morning you wake up, something is happening. So ideally abstract away what problem the tool is solving, figure out how it is solving, then try and map the procedures or the algorithms used for solving the problem. It strengthens you. Then you'll have a vantage point to figure out, should I use this tool or not. And one more thing is rapid prototyping, figuring out, solving a quick problem on that and getting a hands-on approach on how it is solving, and then you can make a decision to continue or not continue with that. In real world it happens a lot because we don't know until we do what is right or wrong. So if you should do that, you should do a quick POC on that, on your toes, and then make a spike in your work schedule, figure it out, move forward.
Thank you so much, sir, for that piece of advice. AI is fundamentally changing how a lot of tech work gets done. How do you see it affecting the kind of jobs and skills that will be in demand for freshers entering the industry?
Interesting question. Of course, AI will change, it's out there. AI will not take away jobs. It will take away jobs of people who don't know how to use AI. That's very important, right? It's another tool for us which can do things on your behalf, but it doesn't think, it hallucinates if you don't give the right kind of prompts, right kind of prompt statements, right? So it's important for you to hold that thinking, write the specs what you want to write clearly, and eventually use AI for as a direction, as a tool to get things done, like but not give away your thinking to the AI completely. So you can use AI, you can use different models to get a solution and spec done. For example, you have a problem, go to ChatGPT and figure out how do you solve this problem. You can take the same solution, challenge with Cloud, Anthropic, and try to see. And then end of the day, you get your own spec done. You put your thinking, your knowledge, how do you want to solve a problem, right? Along with your ideas, then go back and do AI for the development of that. So you can brainstorm a lot with the AIs. It can be your colleague, a teammate, which can give you a lot of ideas to think in multiple directions. You can have your thoughts get critically reviewed by AI. That only shape up your knowledge, right? It will help you put in a right kind of thinking. So use AI for challenging you more than being addicted to that. Don't give in to AI. Use challenge AI and ask for different kind of solutions. Validate your answers, validate your problems, right? And then evolve from there. In the end, after all the planning, just go and use the AI. But there are certain tools like developing a PowerPoint, good. Developing a document, good. But if you are solving a problem, if you are giving a solution, it is becoming essential for you to brainstorm with the tool to get the solution done. Just not go and tell, hey, give me a solution for this. That's easy thing to do. But those kind of people lose jobs quickly, right? Using it for your productivity will help. That's how it's going to be, right? Yeah. As students, I think you'll have to not give up thinking, think more, because thinking to action is quite faster now. You don't have to sit for long hours and write code, right? But what to write is important. And who will give what to write? You have to work on that, right? So deep thinking, solutioning for the problem in different ways, figuring out what's the right approach, evaluating approach, taking the approach for different models and getting it validated will help you. That's what I do in my work.
Thank you so much for that perspective on AI, sir. That's very insightful.
Sure.
Moving on to the next question. Looking back at your own journey, is there something that you wish you had focused on more as a student?
Absolutely. My critical thinking skills, my entrepreneurial skills. I've been a good problem solver, as a technologist. I didn't work on myself on certain soft skills like thinking big as an entrepreneur, right? Which is very important skill, because in those days, like it was just one track to solve things, right? But today, if you look at it, if you can build and sell, then that's the right thing to do, right? If you look at startups culture, they build, they sell. They are not just technologists and builders, right? They do both. They sell and build. I probably feel missed out on developing my skills to sell, my skills to give client presentations, my skills to drive my thought. That I had to learn on my job. So if I look back, yes, I should have consciously focused on my sales skills, my my soft skills and more of entrepreneur skills, where you can take a problem, not only just build, also make it available. That matters. That's where the startup journey begins, right? That's what it is. So I look back and always think, oh, I should have built my skills for sales and be more entrepreneur. My personal journey. I helped build products, helped build companies, but if you're looking back, yes, I should have built that skill during student itself. Would have been much more better than doing it now.
Thank you so much for that, sir. That's a very enriching perspective into entrepreneurship as well as soft
Exactly.
skills. And moving on to the next question. For someone just starting out today, is it better to go deep into one specific skill or to stay broad and adaptable across the way?
We need both. Have you heard about T model?
Yes, sir.
T is the breadth, this is the horizontal, right? So horizontal and depth, right? You got to focus on both. It's not sufficient to be good in only one thing. It's important to know your domain, technology, where do you want to perform, and what's the passion. For example, for me, I like being in retail, digital marketing space, and then along with the domain as well. So I like solving problems for business. I like technology as well. So can I be everywhere? Not possible, right? So what I do, I keep technology as my core. I learn domains as I do things. I'm deployed on retail project, I learn that. On commerce, I learn that. On finance, I learn that. On digital marketing, I learn that. So my ability to learn domain is strong as well as technology. So I apply my technology everywhere. That's how I'm able to sustain my growth. And I read somewhere, there are 3 areas, right? One is you don't know what you don't know, right? You know what you don't know. You know what you know. This is a pyramid, right? So every day you got to start working towards figuring out what you don't know, to read somewhere, figure out, oh, I don't know. This is like a place where you are ignorant, right? If you start closing things and oh, I know I don't know this, that's a very good spot to be in. So you are at least know what you don't know, right? And you have to start closing the gap. And then if you know what you know, then that's a very solid core strength of yours. So it means that it's just not one answer to it. You got to figure out what works for you, the recipe which works for you. That's important, right? So you cannot be a generalist forever. You can't be a specialist for also. You have to bring them together, and somewhere in between you have to make a balance, and you have to keep putting efforts for growing in all these areas, or else it will become irrelevant, right?
Yes,
that's how it is.
Definitely. What's one skill or quality that you think that matters far more than people realize when it actually comes to growing in a tech career?
I'll go to my first answer. Learning, continuous learning, foundations, and you have to be a quick learner also. So you have to be a quick learner. Importantly, you have to build prototypes for yourself and see. Just reading technology is good, knowing things is good, but if your job involves delivering something, making it happen, then you have to partner with people who will do things along with you, right? So you should try out things. That's very important. And also reading is very important. So foundations, learning, doing things, having hands-on, putting it to use, and also mapping it to real world problems matters. You should, when you see something big, you should figure out and being more curious, like a labyrinth thing, right? You have to be more curious about how is this problem solved? How can one solve this problem? As simple as if you go to ChatGPT and query something, it gives you results back in few seconds. How is it happening? You got to go deep into it, understanding that. That will help you, right?
Yes, sir.
You should understand the architecture behind that. Be more curious about that. Then naturally you will be in the space, right? Yeah.
Thank you so much, sir. That's a very important point on learning, being adaptable, and also making sure that your fundamentals are in the right place.
Yeah.
Tech evolves so quickly. Is there a strong opinion you held 5 years ago that you have since revised?
Yes. I had taken things for granted, right? I thought, oh, I've been there for so long, 20 plus years in architecture, technology, I have solved complex problems. Okay, what's going to happen? Then came attention is all you need. Then came ChatGPT. Then came transformation. After that, what has happened? Industry is changing rapidly. So yes, I had taken things for granted, but I quickly woke up, figuring out, oh, this is not a comfort zone to live in. We have to adapt. So obviously, right, so I'm trying to adapt and trying to dabble with what's happening in industry for past 2 years. Trying to find my place, trying to be more curious. That helps.
Thank you, sir.
Sure.
Thank you so much, Mr. Harinath. It has been a very insightful conversation. And on behalf of everyone at Vismaya, thank you for generously sharing your time, experience, and perspective with us today. And your journey is a very big reminder of how much a career in technology can evolve and how much curiosity and adaptability can shape that path. We are very grateful to have had the opportunity to speak with you. And to everyone listening, thank you for tuning in. I hope this conversation offered some valuable perspective as you think about your own path in tech. This is a featured Season 2 interview by Vismaya. Until next time, this is Angel Mary Sony signing off.